Hello Year 9, I am going to take you through the Art and Design GCSE for next year, which will be Year 10 and Year 11. So I'm going to start by talking about the course and how it's broken down into a portfolio, which is coursework, and that is 60% of the GCSE. And then the other part of the GCSE is your externally set task or your exam, and that is 40% of the GCSE. So the portfolio of work, the coursework, is the majority of the GCSE, it's 60%, and you will have to complete at least 2 units. So the 2 units will be from food, identity and arrangements. And it says here on this slide that if you are considering taking art and design at GCSE, you do need to be prepared for the amount of work that goes into these coursework units. It is very time consuming. It is very enjoyable. All of my art students would say that art is very rewarding, it's quite therapeutic, but it can also be very demanding, very time consuming and quite frustrating at times. So you do need a lot of independence, resilience, enthusiasm to do this course. So as you can see here, these are just some images of food, identity and arrangements. So this slide here shows identity that we start in Year 10. The food unit you've actually already started in Year 9, and we will go back to that within the 2-year GCSE course. So when you have done your food unit in Year 9, you've looked at artists, you've done some drawing, you've experimented with materials. These are all things that are going to help you to practice the elements of the coursework and the exam as well. So have a look at the pictures on this slide just to see if they interest you. If they don't interest you, this is a coursework topic that you'll be doing for about a year, at least 2 terms. So if this doesn't interest you, that tells you something about the Art GCSE. It might be for you. The arrangements and natural forms unit can be a 3-dimensional unit. So you'll see here on this slide that there are some sculptures, some 3D pieces, because on the art course we try to introduce you to a range of materials. You will learn how to use a range of materials. And don't worry if you haven't had a lot of practice this year because of COVID. Obviously, we are going to teach you the basics. We are going to teach you how to develop your skills, how to develop your use of materials. You just need to have, like I said earlier, this sense of experimentation, the fact that you will make mistakes, but you learn from your mistakes. So then we come on to the exam, or the externally set task, which is 40% of your GCSE, and you start that in January of Year 11. So you actually start it in January. It's the earliest exam that you will take the Art GCSE, and that's because you need a period of time to prepare for the 10-hour exam. Now, a lot of people do stress out about the fact that this is a 10-hour exam, but it is over 2 days. You get breaks, you get lunch, so you don't need to worry. The 10-hour exam is actually a really nice exam because you've had 3 months to prepare for it. You know what you're doing going into that exam. It's not a written exam, it's a practical exam that you have planned for, that you have designed for. So it is a good exam, even though it might not seem like a good exam because it's 10 hours. It actually is. You've had 3 months, you've had from January right the way through till April to prepare yourself for that exam. So in terms of assessment, how is GCSE Art assessed? So it's assessed on 4 main areas. So the first one is artist studies. So like I said earlier, in Year 9 this year, you have looked at several artists. This is to get you used to the fact that in Year 10 and in Year 11, if you take art at GCSE, you understand how to look at artists. You know this is an important element of the course, and it's a quarter of your mark, artist studies. So you do have to demonstrate cultural and analytical understanding by writing, by comparing, and we teach you all of the skills for how to analyse artists' work. The second assessment objective is about how you refine ideas through experimenting with different materials, media, resources, techniques and processes. And that will come from the artists that you study. That will come from our workshops that we do with you, teaching you how to use clay, printmaking, paint, pencil, pastel, and you've had a base in some of those, but obviously, like I said, because of COVID, you have been limited on what you can do. The third assessment objective is for your recording of ideas. So this is drawing and writing, photographs, and finding any visual images. So it can be pictures as well. And then finally, the last assessment objective is your final piece. So you have to present a personal, informed, and meaningful response to your prep work, so to the artist studies, to the experimentation that you've done on the units that I was explaining about earlier. So identity, arrangements, and then go back to it. These slides here are just examples of what the assessment objectives look like. So it might be that you work in a sketchbook, it might be that you work on paper, whatever format you work on, you need to show that you have studied artists, that you have written, that you have drawn, that you have experimented with materials, and presentation in art is really important. Assessment objective 1 and 2, and this is assessment objective 3 and 4. So assessment objective 3 is your recording of ideas. So like I said, it's not just drawing, it's writing, it's mind maps, it's pictures, it's mood boards, it can be photographs that you have taken. And then assessment objective 4 is your personal response, so a bigger final piece, something that you have designed and then you spend quite a substantial amount of time on. So when you do the exam, you have 10 hours just to do your final piece. So why study art and design? So students that study art and design will be students that are creative, students that like a practical subject. Art also gives you the opportunity to study different people and cultures from all over the world. It is relaxing, but it's also very challenging as well. You will enjoy the subject if you enjoy it now. If you don't enjoy it now in year 9, do not take it, because you do need to enjoy this subject for 2 years. And once you start the course, it is very difficult to change. All right, so if you like the idea of doing art at the moment, if you like having the opportunity to express yourself, art is a really good GCSE for you. You also use a variety of materials. So like I said, it's a practical subject. You will use a variety of different materials, and we will teach you how to use those skillfully, and we'll use those and we'll refine them. But you do have to understand that you are not going to be perfect. You have to be independent. You can't rely on your teacher at GCSE. It's your work, it's not our work. So if you have relied on your teacher this year for help and support, again, the art GCSE might not be for you, because you do need to be independent, you do need to be confident, you do need to learn how to make mistakes and benefit from making those mistakes. We all make mistakes in art. It's about how you learn from them. Also, you learn to be imaginative, creative, you learn time management skills, you learn how to organize yourself, and you'll be really proud of your achievements. You will be so happy by the end of the course with the work that you have produced. All of my art students are so proud of their work. They can't wait to take it home. They can't wait to show it off. So you will be really proud of what you achieved within the 2 years. So what makes a good GCSE art student? I think I've covered this already, but somebody who enjoys their current art lessons, somebody who's well behaved in the art lessons. If you aren't behaving yourself now and you're distracted, please don't choose art at GCSE. You need to enjoy working on your artwork at home. You will be set an hour's worth of homework every single week. So if, again, that puts you off, it's important you understand this now before you opt for art GCSE. It is a very time-consuming subject. You have to have a passion for experimenting and learning from mistakes, as I have said several times, but you also have to be independent, willing to have a go, willing to get things wrong, learn from them. You need to listen to your teacher. So you will either have myself, Miss Bryce, or Miss Alexander, and you need to make sure you listen to us. We know what's best for you. We have done this for a long time, and you do need to be able to listen to us. Someone who will put in, I've said this already, an hour a week outside of art lessons, and somebody who works hard in lessons and feels confident about their work and ability. You need to feel quite confident, you know, that you can do this, that you can manage the course. And then finally, careers. There are so many careers within art. A lot of people don't really fully appreciate, I don't think, how many career paths there are. So I've listed them here. I won't read them all out, but animation, illustration, gallery curators, set designers, art critics, architects, photographers, tattoo artists. There are so many different art careers that you could go into, and there's a lot of careers on here, but you can read these in your own time. You can go back over this if you want to. If you have got any questions about the Art GCSE, please come and speak to me or speak to Miss Alexander. We will be more than happy to show you more examples of GCSE work, to discuss elements of the course with you, and I will be presenting a photography GCSE presentation as well, so you can learn from that. The Art GCSE is much broader than photography, so the Art GCSE encompasses lots of different materials. It's far more hands-on. Photography is more computer-based. Yes, you take photographs, but 2/3 of your time are on the computer. It is more of a technical course. There's lots of writing in there, more so I think than the Art GCSE. So any questions, please let me know. I hope you've enjoyed watching the presentation, and thank you so much for listening.